Sound check. Can you guys hear me? If someone can put in the chat box that you can hear, that would be awesome. All right, I've got some confirmation. Thank you, guys. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. So, like I said, my name is Rhea Evans. I'm the state lead for risk prevention, which is also now community living coordination. I'm joined today by the new roles that have been created for our team, which are the risk prevention area leads, and I'm going to have them introduce themselves in the following order: Nicole, and then Rachel, and then Carl.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole Jones, and I am the Western Area Risk Prevention Lead.
Hello, and I'm Rachel Osterling. I am the Risk Prevention Lead for the Central Area.
Hi, everyone. My name is Carl Heiniger, and I am the Eastern Area Risk Prevention Lead.
All right, thank you, guys. So we wanted to give everybody just a brief update on some things that we're working on within our unit at the division. So to get started, we wanted to talk about why we're even looking at making any changes. And what the division did is we analyzed current performance to figure out what's working, what's not working, and what we found: in order to create consistent implementation and to increase efficiency, we really needed to establish sound performance measures at both the staff, the unit, the regional office, and the division level. We also needed to reshape our work culture to promote problem solving that's rooted in teamwork across units, across divisions, and across the state as a whole. So that we could, and we also wanted to establish statewide workloads, because we found that we had employees that were responsible for more than one job role, and we had a lot of employees with really unbalanced workloads. So we had some areas, especially with the community living team, where we have individuals that have really high caseloads, but then in other areas, they have very low caseloads. So we wanted to create some balance with that. So our hopes is that through some of these updates, we can improve job performance and satisfaction. We could improve support to our provider network and promote outstanding customer service to individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities and their families. And one reason we're looking at doing this now is we all know that Connection, the online case management system, is going to be coming, and we want to be progressive so that we're not carrying inefficient or ineffective practices into that new system. That's the why and the why now for these changes. And now Nicole's going to talk to you about why combining with the risk prevention team makes sense for the community living coordinators.
Thanks, Rhea. One of the big changes is that community living coordinators are joining the Tier 2 risk prevention team. We know that transitions can be the riskiest situation for an individual, and that it's crucial that adequate planning and supports are in place in order to effectively reduce risk. National indicators tell us that transitions without adequate planning and supports can lead to increased risk of poor outcomes. You might have situations where information can go missing, which leads to incomplete records and spotty historical information. Individuals are moved to providers who are ill-equipped to support the individual due to lack of services and/or resources, or situations where services lapse due to the transition process. For example, if you have an individual who regularly meets with a psychiatrist, but then the individual moves, this will disrupt that service. And then establishing a new psychiatrist might mean being put on a waiting list or waiting for an appointment that is months out. It's easy to see how situations like these can really lead to an increased risk and poor quality of life outcomes. So that's part of the reason why we've moved the community living coordinators in with the Tier 2 risk prevention team. Another change is we wanted to ensure we are developing supports for our team as we move forward. We've divided the community living coordinators into 3 teams that cover different regions. We have the Western region, the Central region, and the Eastern region. This will allow us to provide support to our team members across the state, whereas previously support was limited to a regional office. We will also have the benefits of distributing caseloads so that one area isn't carrying a higher caseload than another area. This should allow us to have a greater efficiency and effectiveness as we support teams through the transition process. And on our website, you can see the link listed here on the slide. We'll have all the contact information for each of our team members.
All right, thank you, Nicole. Now we're going to have Carl talk to us about why it makes sense to look at creating consistent, streamlined supervision and communication.
Hi, everyone. So through these changes, it was noted that CLCs were supervised by different individuals in their respective regional offices across the state. This sometimes promoted a different communication and different tasks assigned to different CLCs. So as Rhea and Nicole mentioned, each team now has a lead that is assigned to the individuals. Is assigned to the area in which they serve. And these leads will be responsible for ensuring that workloads are distributed equally among the team members of which they are assigned. Also to centralize communication so that a consistent message is being shared among the CLCs. And another reason is to promote better transitions. As Rhea and Nicole mentioned, some areas have a more active transitions than others. So by equalizing all this and by centralizing communication, we are better able to serve the individuals that we are serving. Also, the area leads report to Rhea Evans. And we'll go to the next slide here. And then we also wanted to incorporate communication into the new model. So starting July 1st, we are asking everyone to use the 2 emails listed below. As you can see, transitions@dmh.mo.gov and transfers@dmh.mo.gov. And I just wanted to speak to when and how to use these emails. So for anyone that needs to be placed on the consumer referral database, please use the transitions@dmh.mo.gov email. The case will then be distributed among the team members of which it is assigned. Furthermore, any questions related to transitions, please use this email. For transfers, we also wanted to centralize this information as well. So any transfer related emails or transfer requests, please use the transfer@dmh.mo email as well. These 2 emails promote better tracking and a more equitable distribution of work among the CLCs. And I'll hand it back to Rhea now.
Thank you, Carl. Next up, we have Rachel, who's going to discuss all of this is just the basic updates and changes we have. Rachel's going to talk about what we have in the works to help with efficiency and consistency.
Thank you, Rhea. So the previous slides will be implemented starting on July 1st. So in the meantime, we will be updating the manual so the transition and transfer process are more streamlined and uniform across the state as we move towards being more centralized. Regarding the checklist, we are looking at focusing on the important areas that are embedded in the transition process. This will help transitions move more smoothly throughout the state. So based off of some recent feedback we've received from some of our stakeholders, it was brought to our attention that it would be helpful to communicate our practice more clearly in our manual. This is all the updates that we have for upcoming changes. More updates will come soon. If you have any additional questions, you can refer to the next slide. So if you have any questions, please submit your questions to the transitions@dmh.mo.gov inbox. The team will then review those questions, and we will post the answers to those questions on the DD website at a later date.
Thanks, Rachel. This is Rhea again. I'm just going to recap what we went over today. So the basic structure changes that are happening, we created a transition of the community living team to the risk prevention team. So we're operating as one now. And then we have streamlined supervision. We have created 3 new lead roles for each area, Central, Western, and Eastern. And they're listed there on the slide that's showing, and our contact list is also there. The Western area lead is, again, Nicole Jones. The Central area lead is Rachel Osterling. And the Eastern area lead is Carl Honinger. And those 3 leads are supervised by myself, Rhea Evans, at the state level. So that's our streamlined supervision. They're not replacing old leads because the community living coordination team did not have centralized leads before. So these are new roles that were created to help create efficiency and consistency. I'm looking in the chat box. We will post a copy of the PowerPoint on the division's previously recorded webinar page, along with a fact document as well for you guys. The other change to recap was the utilization of centralized mailboxes. So the transitions@dmh.mo.gov would be if you have a request for a person who is physically moving to be added to the consumer referral database, or maybe you have general questions or concerns around a person who's physically moving, all of those would be directed to the transitions mailbox. And then the transfer mailbox would be for the transfer of case management. So the person might not physically be moving, but they are now going to have a new case manager or support coordinator. And so those questions, comments, or requests for just the case management piece would go to transfers at dmh.mo.gov. And those mailboxes will go live July 1st. And there is a question. Yes, so one of the things we hope, Angela's asking if we would use those emails instead of having to list out all of the contacts that are listed in the transfer brochure. And the answer is yes. Like, we're hoping that this will help make it easier on everybody to just know this is the one-shop stop for all things moves and transfers, so that you don't have to keep track of who needs to be contacted. So we're working on lots of resources for you guys. We're working on, like Rachel mentioned, revamping the manual, looking at creating a transition web page that would have everything you need to know about transitions and transfers, with including recorded trainings, some one-pagers, the sections of each step in the move process as well, broken out for you guys. So we have a lot in the works, and we're looking forward to partnering with you guys as our stakeholders to get your feedback throughout those updates as well. All right, I think if you have other questions, please feel free to put those in the Q&A or the chat box, or email the transitions@dmh.mo.gov email address, and we will take those and post as a follow-up fact document on the webpage. Thank you guys for joining us for this real brief update.